Aloha, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our joint committee with the Committee on Energy, Economic Development, and Tourism, and our good friends from the Committee on Water and Land. We're on our 3 o'clock agenda in room 224. Have to make a few housekeeping announcements. This meeting, including the audio and video remote participants, is being streamed live on YouTube. You will find links to viewing options for all the Senate meetings on the live and on-demand video page of the legislature's website, so you can watch us all day, every day. And see, even if it's not St. Patrick's Day, you can see that we're still wearing green on whatever day you choose. In the unlikely event that we hit some technical turbulence and this hearing takes a nosedive, the committee will reconvene to discuss any outstanding business at 3 o'clock on Wednesday, February 19th. A public notice will be posted in that event. For
March.
Oh, did I say February?
Yes.
Oh, I'm stuck in the wrong month. Yeah, March 19th. And for those participating remotely, all testifier audio will be muted and video disabled until shortly before it is your turn to testify. So back to our agenda. That we have House Bill 774 HD1 relating to district developments. First on our testifiers list is Ian Hirokawa from DLNR, or is it?
Yes, good afternoon, chairs, members of the committee. This is Ian Hirokawa with DLNR Land Division. We'll stand on our testimony in support of the measure and be available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. Russell Suji from DLNR.
Ian is speaking for the department. Thank you, Chair.
Oh, okay. Thank you for joining us, Russell. Deepak from HCDA.
Hi, Senator, they're not present.
Okay, but members, Deepak has submitted testimony in support, as well as William Isla from DHHL, also in support. Michelle McLean from the Maui Planning Department has submitted commentary, and Alice Lee from the County of Maui also has submitted testimony in support. Members, do you have any questions for Mr. Suji or Mr. Hirokawa? No? Okay, thank you, members. Let me see how it's going. We are done with this hearing, and then I will hand it over to my compadre to handle the next bill. Is that correct? Waterland's in charge, right?
You have one more.
Am I still late?
The stadium one.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought the Waterland was in charge of the next bill. Okay, so we are going to go to our next bill. That is House Bill 1348 HD 2. We have testifying Kurt Otoguro from DAGS.
Good afternoon, Chairs Wakaini Noe and Vice Chairs Mr. Lucia and Keith Agaran. We appreciate the opportunity. Kurt Otoguro, State Comptroller. Department of Accounting and General Services stands on its written testimony in strong support of Measure HB 1348. We really appreciate your efforts, Senator, to get us to this point, and we're available to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Kurt. Chris Kinimaka, also from DAGS.
Hello, chairs, vice chairs, and members of both committees. I'm here in support of our comptroller, Kurt Otoguro, and here to answer any questions. Mahalo.
Thank you, Chris. Scott Chan from the Stadium Manager has, oh, there's Ryan.
Good afternoon, chairs, vice chairs. I'm Ryan Andrews from Aloha Stadium. I'm sitting in for Scott Chan today. And the Stadium Authority does stand on its written testimony in support of House Bill 1348. And I will stand by if there's any questions. Mahalo.
Great, thank you, Ryan. Craig Hirai from Budget and Finance has submitted commentary. We have Deepak from HCDA. Not too sure if Deepak is going to join us. Oh, there he is. Wow, like magic. Oh,
That looks
that's not,
like...
that's Calvert, sorry.
That's Calvert.
Gotta put my glasses on. Calvert Young,
Not magic.
you would improve Deepak? Calvert?
Just a facsimile, Chair. Good afternoon, chairs and members. The University of Hawaii has submitted testimony. We are in support of the measure, and we are in support of the stadium project. I would like to call out, though, that in our testimony, we are requesting the committee consider that since the bill seeks to add 2 members to the Stadium Authority as representatives of the districts in the neighborhood for the stadium district, we're also asking that the existing statute be amended to allow for the university representative on the Stadium Authority Board to be a voting member. Thank you for your consideration of the measure, chairs.
Great. Thank you, Calbert. We have Chris Delaney from Pacific Resource Partnership has submitted testimony in support. Michelle Kurihara-Klein from HGEA. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, good afternoon, chairs, vice chairs, and members of the committees. Michelle Kurihara-Klein on behalf of the Hawaii Government Employees Association. We have our written testimony, which is in opposition to a very specific section of HB 1348, which we read as stripping existing state employees of their collective bargaining and civil service rights. I wanted to update the committee that after filing our written testimony, we had informal discussions with key proponents of the measure. And through those discussions, we believe that the current language that excludes employees from bargaining and exempts the employees from civil service are not necessarily intended to target the existing employees, but it is possibly preemptive language to provide flexibility in hiring new positions that will be created as the stadium is developed. So if these newly created positions are high-level management, we would likely not object to that exclusion from civil service and exemption to bargaining. If this is the case, then perhaps a more appropriate way to address this issue is to not amend Chapter 109.25, which is the current statute, and to revisit the status of the positions once they're created. So I'll be available. I know it's really technical in nature, but I will be available to answer any questions that any of the committee members will have. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Michelle. We have testimony from Ryan Sakuda, General Contractors Association, Miles Miyasato from Operator Engineers, Matt Kenny from Hawaii Construction Alliance, Ryan Kobayashi from Iluna Local 368, and Mr. Tuyasa Sopo from the Electrical Engineers, all in support. Members, any questions for those who are joining us remotely? No?
For Michelle.
Yes, Senator Aguirre, for Michelle.
Yes, Senator.
So what you're talking about is the amendments on page 10 and 11 to subsection 7, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So if we left the language alone, then you think you'd be okay with the bill then?
Yes. So the current statute allows for the manager, assistant manager, and executive secretary to be exempt in excluded positions, which we are okay with.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Members, any further questions? Okay, we will break briefly prior to taking the vote. Aloha, we're reconvening our joint committee with the Committee on Energy, Economic Development, and Tourism, and our good friends from the Committee on Water and Land for our 3 o'clock agenda. During the little break there, we had discussed the merits of House Bill 774 HD1 relating to development districts. We all want to see Maui thriving and think that it could thrive even more with a special development district under HCDA. So the chairs have conferred, and the recommendation is to pass this measure out with technical, non-substantive amendments. Members, any discussion? If not, Senator Misalucha, I vote yes.
For Committee on Energy, Economic Development, and Tourism, with regards to House Bill 774 HD1, Chair recommends passing it with technical and not substantive amendments. Chair votes aye. Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Lee?
Aye.
Senator Riviere?
Aye.
Senator Favela?
Aye.
You have 5 ayes. Your recommendation's adopted, Chair.
Okay, Committee on Water and Land, same recommendation on HB 774, House Draft 1. Any discussions? Hearing none. Chair votes aye.
Okay, with 5 members present, any reservations, any opposition? Recommendation adopted.
Fantastic. We're going to move on to the second bill on this agenda, that is House Bill 1348 HD2 relating to the Stadium District. We think that we have a more polished version of the Senate version is much more polished than the House version. So what we're going to do is replace the language in HB 1348 HD2 with the language from Senate Bill 1423 SD2. We're also going to take into account, I passed out to all of you recommendations from the Department of Accounting and General Services. They had 3 substantive amendments to that SB 1423. Briefly, those 3 substantive amendments are replacing language in Part 2, Section 9, with language to provide more definitive transition from the State Development Special Fund to the new Special Fund. So just clarifying language to transition to the new Special Fund. Second substantive amendment would be to revise Part 2, Section 13 to improve the relationship between HCDA and the Stadium Authority. And the third substantive amendment is in Part 4, Section 21 to preserve funds allocated and encumbered prior to this act. And also, HCDA had some amendments. A lot of them were kind of technical, housekeeping measures, and would like to include HCDA's testimony and suggested amendments in their testimony for this measure. Members, any discussion? If not, Senator Misulucci, I vote yes.
For House Bill 1348 HD2 for Committee on Energy, Economic Development, and Tourism, Chair recommends pass with amendments. For all 5 members present, are there any reservations? Any nays? Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you.
For the Committee on Water and Land, same recommendations on HB 1348, House Draft 2 is passed with amendments. Any discussions? Seeing none, hearing none, Chair votes aye.
Okay, with 5 members present, Water and Land, any reservations? Any opposition? Recommendation adopted.
Okay, members, we are adjourning this joint committee.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lily.
You're
Thanks, Carol.
welcome.
Short and sweet.
Okay,
So we're going to go into the next one for
Yeah.
EET.
Right, for our, just that's EET only, yeah?
So we're reconvening our Committee on Energy, Economic Development, and Tourism. On our 3:15 agenda, we have one item on this agenda. This is House Bill 558 HD2 related to clean energy financing. On our testifiers list, we have Gwen Yamamoto Lau.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. Gwen Yamamoto Lau, Hawaii Green Infrastructure Authority. We stand on our written testimony in support of this measure and are available for questions. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Gwen. We have Scott Glenn from the Energy Office.
Aloha Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. Gail Suzuki Jones here on behalf of Scott Glenn. The Hawaii Office stands on its written testimony in support of HB 558. Mahalo.
Great, thank you, Gail. Jay Griffin from the PUC.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. We stand on our written testimony offering comments and available for any questions. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Jay. Dean Nishina from the Consumer Advocates Office in DCCA.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Dean Nishina with the Division of Consumer Advocacy, standing on our written testimony, offering comments, available for questions, if any. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dean. We have Craig Hirai from Budget and Finance has submitted commentary. Ben Sullivan from the County of Kauai has submitted testimony in support. Matthew Gonzer from the City and County of Honolulu Office of Resiliency has submitted testimony in support. Melissa Miyashiro from Blue Planet. Aloha.
Aloha Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. Melissa Miyashiro with Blue Planet Foundation, and will stand on our written testimony in support. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Ted Boland from Climate Protectors of Hawaii has submitted testimony in support, and Janet Pappas, an individual, has also submitted testimony in support. And that's all I have for our testifiers list. Members, any questions of those who have joined us online? No? Okay, I don't know if we have to go to the small room. I'm going to recommend that we pass this measure with yeah, thank you. Gosh, good thing I have Karen here to save the day. Sorry, I have a question for Gwen.
Yes.
Gwen, I don't know if you were able to see the city and counties of Honolulu's testimony on this measure. But they had some concerns regarding the special fund, and their concern is they think that the bill requires funds from the county sources to be deposited into this revolving loan fund. Do you get that sense that this bill somehow is going to make the city pay into your fund?
Only if they want to. So really, it allows us to look for other sources of funds, which could include county funds if funds are available. But primarily, initially, we're looking for USDA. So I think they had two questions. One is, does the county have to put into this fund? And I think the second one might have been, can the county borrow from the fund? So it would depend on the source of the fund. So we're looking for federal funds to begin with, USDA, and it really depends on the source of funds of who we can lend to. So if it's USDA, we wouldn't be able to lend to other government entities. However, if the Clean Energy Accelerator passes through Congress, which creates a National Climate Bank, a green bank, that would allow us to borrow from them and loan to other government agencies and entities.
Okay, so the county essentially wants to make sure that they don't pay in, but they want to benefit from the fund.
Yes, they could if they had funds available, but yes, it's not requiring them.
Okay, good. Thank you for that clarification.
Thanks.
So, members, with that clarification, I'm just going to recommend we pass this measure unamended. You guys okay with that? Okay.
Karen?
Oh, we are so quick and efficient. So, members, we're going to go into decision-making immediately on House Bill 558 HD2. And the recommendation is to pass this measure as is or unamended. Any discussion? If not, Senator Misalucha, I vote yes.
House Bill 558 HD2, Chair recommends as is, pass as is.
Yes.
And Chair votes aye, Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Lee?
Aye.
Senator Riviere?
Aye.
Senator Favela?
Aye.
You have 5 votes. Your recommendation's adopted, Chair.
Okay, thank you, everyone. We are adjourned.